Hey, welcome back, IB Development Economics students, to this video lecture. Today I'm going over the market-based policies for development. So we have talked about economic development, what it is, and how some people may encourage economic development. We have talked about the effects of trade and aid on economic development. But how about if we just leave the economy to its own sources? Remove all government regulations, remove government intervention, remove everything from any bureaucratic red tape. What will happen if we just leave the market to its own condition? Let the invisible hand, as Adam Smith has talked about, let the invisible hand dictate everything that happens to the economy. What will happen if that happens for a developing economy? So, by talking about market-based policies, we're talking about these 5 things: promoting foreign direct investment, privatization of state-hold assets and companies, so the government doesn't hold any companies nor does it hold any assets. Deregulations and cutting back of bureaucratic red tape, so make it easier to create businesses, make it easier to do trade, make it easier. Trade liberalization and repelling protectionist measures, that means removing tariffs, import taxes, import quotas, things like that. And also reduction of government sway on economy with smaller government. So also decreasing taxes, decreasing income, corporate VAT taxes. So this is what we mean by market-based policies. Just letting the market guide the economy instead of having the government guide the economy. So what right here we have 6 pros and 6 cons, 6 benefits and 6 harms to economies like this. So the first one, the benefits. I'm gonna start with the benefits. If there are more efficient resource allocations, reduction in bureaucratic debt weight loss. So often many economists would think, especially libertarian governments would think, when the government comes in, they just messes everything up. They have all these regulations. You have to abide to environmental concerns. You have to abide to welfare concerns. You can't sell your prices above. You can't sell your products above a certain price, right? These all makes inefficient resource allocations. They'll come in and set price floors, price ceilings. So, argument for free market and market-based policies for economic development is that corporations, they're profit-driven, so they will do things at the most effective and cost-effective level. Well, governments, they will like to increase, they have other objectives other than just profit maximization. So that's one of the benefits of market-based policies. Another one is incentives for competition and leading innovation. If in the free market you do not deliver in value, and then you will have competition. If you have competition and your competitors win, you go out of business. And that's in the short, that's very bad for you, but in the long run, that is good for the economy, because only the best firms and the most productive and the most competitive firms stay in the business. So it increases productivity. So that is also another pro for the benefits in the market-based policies. Revenue maximization will benefit the stakeholders and companies. That, of course, goes without saying. Encourages foreign direct investment. Now, a lot of bureaucratic red tape will prevent foreign direct investment from occurring, will prevent foreign firms from investing into the company. However, with market-based policies and libertarian economic policies to encourage development, foreign firms are much easier to come into and set up factories and set up branches and set up companies within your country, seeing as how there is little to none a bureaucratic red tape. So encourages foreign direct investment. Increases the ease of doing business and the ease of trade. Once again, it's closely tied to how deregulation and the removal of red tape. Reduction in taxes, income taxes, VAT, and corporate taxes is another major pro for taxpayers, and especially taxpayers in higher income brackets, pay a higher marginal tax brackets and more taxes. Reduction in government size, reduction in government spending also decreases taxes. Now, these are the pros and benefits to market-based policies. Now, what are some cons and harms to market-based policies? First of all, infrastructure may not be constructed up to the standards that governments will. Right? Governments have an interest in making infrastructure to the best of their abilities. Why? Because infrastructure has positive spillover benefits. And when it has positive spillover benefits, governments will want to invest top quality infrastructure to be constructed as a long-term investment. However, companies are driven by short-term profits. Okay, they look at this, they would be like, what is the cheapest way we could build this road to connect our factories to the ocean port and send the materials out, right? So the cheapest roads and the cheapest infrastructure projects are what corporations and companies will be looking at. So this will be a market failure. Once again, objective 2, a market failure may occur, where the allocations of certain goods and resources, the undersupply of merit goods, and the oversupply of demerit goods may occur. A market failure, we have made a video back in the microeconomics section. The market failure would be something like the undersupply of food, undersupply of healthcare, undersupply of public goods that are non-excludable and non-rivalrous, such as national defense and street lamps and roads, right? So market failures may also occur when there is a privatization of economic development and governments enroll. Another thing, environmental concerns, right? Governments are at least somewhat caring of the environment because they're in for the long run. Well, corporations, on the other hand, they are driven by short-term profits. And short-term profits, you could cut corners and disregard the environment and make more revenue. So if we have a truly libertarian environment and market, the economy will perhaps boom. But what are some other costs? What are the environmental costs? What are the green GDP saying? Okay. Income inequality, once again, if the government is not having a progressive tax on the wealthy, if government doesn't have regulations, antitrust laws against economic development driven by private interests, then what causes and what ensures that income inequality is not blown out of proportion? Protectionist and domestic industry is going to be very hard for domestic industry to take off, for domestic manufacturers to compete, especially against big governments, big companies from abroad. Big companies from abroad may already have the economies of scale, the expertise, and sunrise industries in the domestic sector may not be able to compete with foreign, well-established sectors of the economy. Therefore, protectionist measures are enacted when governments are around. However, if pure market-based policies and heavily lenient market-based policies are enacted for the purpose of economic development, the local industry and local sunshine industries may not be able to grow. Once again, the lack of functioning financial institutions such as banks and central banks will also cause market-based policies to be perhaps not the best option. So, in this past lecture, we have gone over the benefits and the harms of market-based policies, as well as some common market-based policies. I do hope this video is helpful. In our next video, we're going to be going over the international interventionist policies for economic development. So I do hope this video is helpful, and I hope to see you guys in the next and last video. Okay, goodbye.